Let's take a look at some fun reserve list cards and see how they're doing on the market. It's coming up next. My friends, welcome back. This is MTG Moxman here. If you're new to my channel, you're somehow finding me out there on YouTube, well, thanks a lot for checking out my content. Smash that subscribe button. Join in the fun. It's free to do and helps my channel get to 5,000 subscribers faster than you can say cake party at 5,000 subscribers. All right, guys, we're going to take a look at some old reserve list cards today. Time to do a market watch update and see how these cards are doing, to see how the reserve list market is moving along. Our first card today is going to be Copy Artifact. Now, this card is one of the cards we mentioned early on in the buyout. I remember seeing pages disappearing. I was telling people in a video, now look, this card is settling down. Okay, it's really come down from those highs where we had unlimited copies and stuff going for $400 or $500, depending on the condition and where they were. I was telling people, buy whatever you could. It was near mint, light played. Well, look now, moderately played at $75 Canadian is pretty reasonable, $85 in the EU, and $65 in the US. Now, the sales are strong. Even though the card's price is settling down, it looks like people are taking some profit, and some other people are buying on the dip when this card is going downward. People are starting to pick up some extra copies now, making their position a little bit stronger. So I can see this card falling a little bit further, but remember, it's one blue, one other, and it can copy things. Even cards like Mirror Maid and stuff from Throne, they take more mana, right? So as a mana efficient enchantment, this thing is crazy good, which is why it deserves to be on the reserve list and why people are tending to buy this out a little bit further. This is one of those newer reserve list cards being bought out, and this is the first time it's gone through this. So this little bit of settling of price that we're seeing right now is very reasonable to me. It doesn't seem very out of place. Now remember, guys, I didn't graduate Magic University. Right? I didn't make it through a semester. I couldn't handle the mess hall. I didn't like the food. So I have no financial background whatsoever. This is merely an entertainment channel feeding you guys some stuff that I've learned. Okay? All right. Okay. Chaos Orb. I know. Chaos Orb. One of our all-time favorites. Now, somebody on the channel told me there was like a buyout or something going on with this card. When I looked into it, I saw nothing. Okay? Nothing's out of whack. Nothing's unreasonable. I mean, it's banned in most formats, right? Casual 93, 94 format is where people play it, and there's a lot of set collectors who do want it. The sales are steady on the card, $1,800 Canadian, $1,100 in the EU, and $1,600 in the US. It's fine. It's a reasonable, sales movement. Some people find the price too high for a banned card like this. I understand that, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're saying it's an old card. It's got epic artwork, very nostalgic to Magic's history. The whole flip mechanic where dexterity was involved. A lot of, it doesn't get used anymore. So I can see why people buy the card and want the card. And I see why some people do play with it. But as far as it goes for price wise, there's no buyout going on. The card just seems to be sitting there. A couple sales here and there. It's fine. Nothing seemed weird to me at all. Rock Hydra. All right, now this is a card from back in the day a lot of our red decks had. You pump this thing out, I'm going to make like a 10-10, and then somebody would just terror it. It would just die horribly as the Hydra screamed and melted into the sand. It's one of the newer cards we bought it on the reserve list. It's a very weak card in terms of its power level compared to nowadays mechanics, but it is good artwork, has that nostalgic feel, the old school look to it. And very reasonably priced. $10 Canadian, $3 in the EU, $3.50 in the USA will get your revised copies, guys. I would shoot for the unlimiteds and the betas and alphas if you can go back that far. Reserve list stuff will always continue to slowly get eaten up and bought as the years go by. But when we look at this, that's why we say hold the line. Don't sell in a dip. Don't sell in a high. Just hold it. And watch your profits slowly grow, so when you do decide to sell, you skimp it out here and there, you'll make some better money. This card's an easy buyout target now for some people to pick up copies. I think it's going to sit around this price, though. Maybe even drift back a little bit further. So if you're not eager to get into cards like this where you're uncertain, then hey, shoot it to the left and say I don't want this one. But I myself am going to buy a couple copies just because I only have like 4. What's 4 more? Typhoon. I know, Typhoon. All right, Typhoon is Legends. Back then, cards picked on other cards. So Typhoon says, hey, for every island you have, I'm going to nuke you for damage. So it really was a pest. green would pick on blue, white picked on red, red picked on white, black picked on green. Like they had this nice little circle of cards that would pick on other deck cards. Now at $55 Canadian, 23 in the EU, and of course 55 in the USA. Let's say the sales are steady. This card is moving. The Italian copies are moving faster than the English copies because the Italian copies can be had for about half this price. I'm seeing a lot of Italian Legends cards start to move now, guys, and I think that's based on the fact the English ones have gotten so high. People are willing to settle in for an Italian copy and call it a day. Beautiful artwork. Like, I don't know, it's like the idea of the wind coming out and just blowing into the ocean and stuff. Very cool. Gauntlet of Might. Used to use it. Actually, I still use this in my Kobold deck. The Gauntlet of Might at $1,300 Canadian, $550 in the EU, and $800 in the US. Guys, this card has a problem. It's not selling. At these price levels, it is not selling. I put here the sales are slow. They're like a month between sales. Okay, it really died off in April, right? Last real sales like March and stuff. This card's really died off unless it's selling locally. It really isn't going anywhere, so there's no rush to go out and get this card. It can just sit there doing nothing, okay? It is a good card. The fact it pumps up your creatures, gives them a +1/+1, and of course that red mana taps for an additional, that is kind of nice, okay? That is like a nice buffer bumper to have. But for some reason, the sellers and buyers are not meeting, so no cards are moving. They're sitting on the market and they're just looking pretty on eBay, TCG Player. Local stores don't have any, I checked, but it's not moving as far as I can tell. All right, our next card up is going to be Neither Void. Now, in Neither Void's case, epic old school Legends card, counters everything unless their controllers pay 3. This card makes it very hard to cast things. Really slows down the casting, which a lot of people don't like. Now, the average price of $1,250 Canadian, $780 in the EU, and $1120 in the US. I didn't think that price was that far out of whack, but the sales again are very slow. This shows me that the higher priced reserve list stuff is really slowing down, guys. Numerous cards I checked that did not go on the list today all show a slowing of the market on what people are willing to spend on cards right now. Keep that in mind, okay? If you're a person looking to get in, these cards might be dipping in the near future, and actually you might be able to save a few bucks if it's a card you're after. Wait to see if it dips further. I will be informing you if I see any dips come up where the market kind of goes down and you can save some serious money on these cards. How far and how low those curves downward will go, I don't know. But I will inform people as it goes along. I was very interested to see that this card, which is a really epic card, is not moving, like, at all. Very, very slow sales. All right, Mana Vortex. Love this card from the Dark Man. Have a few copies myself. Now, I remember when this card was cheap. Remember when I mentioned this months ago? The average price is $82 in Canada, $60 in the EU, $53 in the USA. But again, the sales are slow. The dark cards have risen so fast, so quickly, and so high on a lot of these cards that the market's what I call like they're trying to catch up. They're trying to see if they think these prices will hold, so nobody's buying anything. The odd card is selling every week, but it is selling in the Italian versions more often than the English, and it is slowing down. Okay, you can really tell that the market's kind of like just calming itself down from the frenzies. Not stopping, but definitely slowing. Good card though. Love Mana Vortex. All right, Lord Tressorhorn. Now, I thought it was interesting when I was checking this guy out that the sales are steady on him. He is selling copies multiple times a week. But, so it appears to be 3 or 4 people. I don't know if they're friends or buddies, but 3 or 4 people are really picking on this card. Now, the average price, $16 in Canada, $3.50 in the EU, $8.90 in the USA. I used to use this guy all the time with Lake of the Dead. He was an awesome card. Pay 2 life, lets me draw cards. 10-4, that regenerated. It was an amazingly powerful card back in the day. He still can do very well nowadays because a lot of decks have a hard time dealing with regeneration right now because a lot of the newer decks aren't used to playing against it. I've noticed in a few commander decks my buddy played. When I put a regeneration thing, he didn't like it. So it's very cool. He's a very epic card, like from the Alliance's history and storyline. So will he go up? Yep, he's going to go up. It's going to take a long time, though, because people, like I said, everything's consolidating right now. We're slowing down, and it looks like people are diverting money to other products. Modern Horizons 2. So the dip may happen where a lot of reserve list cards get shucked to the side, and the people on this channel, you'll have the opportunity to grab them, so will other people who watch. telling you, it's not bad. Now, our last card today is going to be General Jackald. I like this card as a kid because you could switch people's blockers. Now, 4 for a 1/2 is a horrible power level distribution, but his ability to switch who's blocking what could be a lot of fun. Oh, I'm going to block this and this. No, you're not. Let's switch those. Awesome. $5 Canadian, $1 in the EU, $2 in the US. Canada's got like a jacked up price here, man. But the sales are steady, selling a few copies a week at those low prices. I can see why. And he is a usable card in Commander, right? Being able to switch people, not even yours, to your opponents. Hey, you want to be friends? I'm going to switch those. It can be a lot of fun, right? So he's a fun card to have in a deck to kick around with and just say, yep, I got him. He's a great time. I like that. I know. I like him. I like the art, by the way, where he's just kind of look over his shoulder. The general's all chilling out. All right, guys. So just some final thoughts here. I can see the reserve list slowing down. I can see the sales slowing down. I see some modern cards picking up. I will be covering a few of those topics coming up just so people know where things are going. The Modern Horizons sales are staying very strong if you made it this far in the video. If people even watch this far in. There's a few loyal people out there who do. Thanks a lot. Helps the viewership. But it looks like a lot of money is just being diverted to newer products right now because people just, you're going to have so much cash to spend. So it's interesting to see. I'll keep an eye out for any more big lulls in any of the reserve list cards that people might be interested in. And I'll bring it up as it comes across. All right, guys. Have a great one. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Chill out. Have a great Tuesday. It's going to be like 30 degrees here in Canada, man. It is hot in Toronto today. I had to turn on the AC as I was moving stuff and cleaning the basement. It's crazy. Have a great one. Hey guys, big shout out to all my patrons out there. Thank you so much for the continued support, guys. Looking forward for our end of the month giveaway. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're new to my Patreon, don't worry, your name will be on the wheel. And if you want to join my Patreon, you can find me there, patreon.com, MTG Moxman.